Good morning, everybody. Thanks for all attending first thing on a Monday morning. I'm John Tweed, Distribution Director for Air, joined by my colleague Nicola Palmer and Les Pick and Fran Green from Water Life. And I'm sure they'll do more intros as we move along. Really exciting and really excited to be discussing this with you today. It's an exclusive with Air. It's a fantastic product. And you know, I think once you see this today, there'll be some great solutions for your customers going forward. Without further ado, I am going to pass on to Les Pick. What I would say, any questions you have, please do put them through, and we'll answer them as we move along. Over to you, Les.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's great to be here. We've got really an exciting product to talk to you about. I thought it was going to be good when they originally told me here at Water Life about the product spec, but it just got better and better. So hopefully you'll be as excited about this as we are, to the point where it's almost innovative, right? We haven't seen much innovation in the sector just recently, and I would suggest that this product is probably bordering on innovation, and you know, hopefully you'll feel the same. It's not just myself and John here on the call. We've also got Nicola from Air, and we've got Fran Green as a National Sales Manager here at Water Life. So lots of experience on the call. We do a Q&A at the end, so you'll be able to type into the box if you've got any questions, and I'll pretend to know the answers, and Fran will probably actually know the answers. So we'll do our best to help and support, as always. That's what we try to do here, to help you on your mission to be out there to try and write as much business as you can, look after as many customers as you possibly can, find solutions for those people. And this product in particular is going to help some of those people that maybe you weren't able to help before. At Water Life, we try to have the broadest range of lending solutions. You'll know that we have a very varied product set. We've got Flexi and we've got Capital, which is fantastic if you've got that low LTV customers who are just looking for really, really good value. And of course, if people need to borrow a little bit more, then we've got the maximum prime and tailored products depending on their health status. And of course, that's there to help those people who need to release a little bit more money in order to achieve what they need to achieve in those later years. However, we're adding a new product. The new product is called Apex. It is effectively going to be the pinnacle of LTVs. And this is a whole new level of LTV bands available to the sector. This means that you're able to help more of those customers, particularly as house prices are as high as they are at the moment. Those people that are stuck in IO mortgages, trying to get out of them, maybe being forced to sell. This might just help a few more of those customers to stay in their homes, the homes that they love, the homes that they cherish and that they've spent so many years in. This is going to help a few more people out there to be able to achieve what they want to in retirement. So highest LTVs in the market. That's the first thing. That's what I knew about this product. I knew that no matter what happened, we were going to have the highest LTVs in the market space, up to 60.7%. And a typical 71-year-old can get 50.5% LTV. So already market-leading ERCs, and that's what I knew about the product, and I was already very excited about it. But this is the real special thing that I didn't know when I was originally told about this product. The shortest fixed ERC period in the market, only 5 years, 87655. That's basically what we're talking about in terms of those fixed ERCs. Absolutely phenomenal flexibility there. So for those IO customers who maybe are looking to bridge for those 5 or 6 years, whatever, just to be able to stay in the home a little bit longer until maybe they get a little bit older and they want to downsize, then obviously we've got those fixed ERCs over a 5-year period. And more importantly, or as importantly, the Flexi lending criteria, modern lending criteria. So we've got day one partial repayments, and we've got the ERC exemption, that compassion clause that actually I think is just such a fantastic thing for this sector. You know, somebody dies, somebody goes into long-term care, you know, they're going to be able to make those changes that they need to from a lifestyle point of view and from a property point of view without penalty. So highest LTVs in the market, shortest fixed ERCs, and then lots and lots of flexibility. Day one partial repayments from £50, as many as they like. So again, if you're looking at those IO customers who are looking to replace those mortgages, who just want a little bit of flexibility and ability to stay in their home, maybe able to make contributions towards the interest, this product is absolutely spot on for them. Applicants from 55, which is really, really good. Quite often when you see super high LTVs, you might question whether or not they might start at 60. The age might start at 60, but actually we're starting at 55. A couple of things to note here. In terms of home values, at the moment, and this is maybe subject to change, minimum property value 100 grand, maximum property value £1 million. That is potentially subject to change and review as we go on. Okay, lump sums from 10k up to obviously 607 based on a 60.7 LTV, and of course, you know, somebody being at that in that age bracket and £1 million property. In addition to that, we've got the Apex Plus and Apex Extra. So we've got two product bands, two product tiers. So we've got the high LTVs, the ERC free period after 5 years, fixed ERCs for 5 years, ERC exemption, and partial repayments. And as we're saying there, up to 10% of the initial loan each year for free, minimum payment £50, make as many payments as you like. So what does that mean in real terms? So what that means in real terms is we've got the Apex Lump Sum Plus and we've got the Apex Lump Sum Extra. Those are the interest rates applicable on MER, and those are the LTVs subject to ages. So as you can see, yeah, it's super high LTV. Of course, you'd expect the rate to be similar and in line with those ERCs. But what I would say is these are the prices and the LTVs correct as of the 15th of August. These things could change. Now, in terms of launch date, we're expecting this to be launched to you guys some point in the next week or so. So start to think about what you know, the level of LTVs that are here, maybe those customers that you haven't been able to help up until now, and you know, maybe you've opened up the filing cabinet and see whether or not this product may be of assistance to them. Of course, we try to support you wherever we can. It's been a tricky year or two for the sector in general, I think, from a point of view of service and support for advisors across the board, no matter which lender, no matter what part of it, whether it's legals, whether it's valuations, whatever. But we're doing our best to absolutely support you. So there's going to be some flexible underwriting. You might want to speak to us about that. So give us a try on this particular telephone number there. Speak to a member of the team. If you've got something with a septic tank or some lodgers or solar panels and you're not sure, please just give us a call and we'll do our best to be able to support and help you. You're going to get exclusive first access to this particular product through AIR. So that's the amazing thing, is that we've got this exclusive through AIR Group. So you are going to, as AIR Group advisors who are using the club, have access to this particular product. We're going to try and help you to give the best possible service and the best possible products to your clients. Okay. And as part of that whole range, or as Fran would say, the power of the panel, you know, this is just another product here and effectively another product that you can go out there and speak to your customers about. You know that we've got multiple funders, we've got this huge product range, and we hope that this is able to help you with your customers. You're able to source for this, not just on air sourcing, but also on Iris. So it will be available through the two different sourcing platforms. However, it will be an Air Club exclusive to start with. And these are your commission tiers, depending on which particular band you're in. So a standard club member at 2.25 using the club. Okay, if you happen to be a prolific writer and you're platinum or you're elite, then there's a slightly bigger tier. And then, of course, those people that have chosen to go on our Air Select panel, they also have the option to have that 3% commission. That's basically the product in the main. What we wanted to try and do this morning was give you the heads up, explain to you that it's coming, give you the understanding that you might be able to start to go back through those filing cabinets, whether they be physical or virtual, see if any of those customers that you might be able to help. Are there any people that you might be speaking to right now where you're thinking, okay, well, the maximum I can get you is this. Does that mean you're going to have to sell, or does that mean that you can actually afford to stay? So we hopefully, although we're, you know, perhaps a week or so away from launch, giving you that heads up, giving you a little bit of time and space to think about it, think about the product, and think about who you might be able to help. Short and sweet. It's only one product. It's not super complicated. It's just a great product out there that hopefully is going to help an awful lot of people. The Q&A is open, so if there's anybody that has any questions that they'd like to fire at us, please type in the box. We'll do our best to answer. Fran, I don't know if you've seen any so far.
I have. We've had a question from Rob Polworth. Hi, Rob, morning. is a drawdown going to be available on Apex? So I've been able to confirm in the questions there that unfortunately no drawdown isn't available. Further borrowing will be, but not drawdown, at least initially. We've got a question. Good morning, Les, from Brian Catton. May I ask how long the offers will be valid for? Will it be the standard 6 weeks? Now, I believe that to be 84 days in total, but it's something I'm going to take away and just confirm as well. But I do believe it's actually a bit longer than Flexi. What is the interest rate at 60.7%? Is a question there from Gordon Tate.
Right, so that was where we come back to this original slide. The LTV's there. So as you can see, the MER, if you're going to go on a lump sum plus, is 6.88 MER, and that's across the board, depending on which of those tiers you're at. So if you're 70, you can borrow 48% at that interest rate. And of course, if you're 60, if you're 84, then potentially you can borrow that sort of up to 59% at that interest rate. And then lump sum extra, where of course you can get up to that 60.7% at the 7.3%. We must absolutely state there's huge volatility in the markets this year. We don't need to tell you advisors that. Advisors and lenders have been really struggling this year to keep hold of keeping their rates steady as we possibly can, despite huge volatility in gilts and swaps. So we've done our best. So these rates are current. Okay, if the product was to launch today, these would be the rates that we'd be offering. Of course, things may change between now and say a week and a half's time, because we all know there's that huge amount of volatility that's in the market space.
We've got questions coming in thick and fast for us. We've got some question from anonymous attendee. There's a couple of them on here, which is interesting. And what is the status for home offices and working from home? So it's absolutely the same across the rest of our panel. If you can have somebody working at home, as long as the space that's used for business can be converted back to a residential space without any major or structural works. What we will also say, though, you can't have any visitors or employees in the home. So you can't have visiting customers or employees either. Catcher Mills has asked, hi Fran and Les, is grade 2 listed property okay for you? Yes, it is. Grade 2 listed is available again across our board, with the exception of our tailored lifetime 7 product. So that's important that that's a grade 2 and not a grade 2 star, because they sometimes get confused.
This is why we have you on the call, Fran.
It's okay. It's going to be a bit of clients who are going to pay off an IVA in the process. Unfortunately, not at this moment. I went through the criteria, and actually, I mean, to be honest, for adverse credit, if you don't need the higher releases, your capital choice is your product to go to, because they're really generous. It does look like you can do a day 1 discharge bankrupt on this product, though. It does look like you can do a day 1 satisfied IVA, but it does look like it has to be satisfied prior to completion. But I am going to challenge that a little bit, because interestingly enough, at the same time, it does look like it's going to be now one of 2 funders that we have available that will allow you to continue with the DMP post completion, so it does not have to be satisfied. So I am going to go back to our product team and just challenge that IVA point, because I think it may have just been an oversight, but we'll see. But yeah, if it is a DMP as opposed to an IVA, that is something that we can help with. I think we've answered Gordon's question live with what the rate is going to be at 60.7%. Robert Levy asked, is there a product fee or an app fee? I should have the answer to that there for you. Yes, it is what I thought it was. I wanted to check. We're VAL fee free across our panel. That's something really to note, that, you know, there are some other providers out there that might be panel type propositions like ourselves, but they do have products that do charge fees and valuation fees. This particular product has no valuation fee, like all of our products, and is fee free from a product point of view as well. And another really important thing to note with More to Life, as opposed to some other providers, is that we do actually provide you with a copy of the valuation report for you and your customers to review. So, you know, you've got full transparency with ourselves, and not only just to see, you know, where it's valued at, but equally, if it is a case where it might look to decline or go elsewhere, we do have, as Les mentioned before, I use the cheesy phrase, the power of the panel, to be able to move from one product to another. So, you know, this could be, you've come in on flexi, it fits the criteria for flexi, and you've gone after those best rates, but then you've got a down valuation, for example, and now that flexi project can't meet your customers' needs, we can then switch you now to Apex potentially with that same criteria, and to get that maximum release if that's what's needed, and still on that fee-free basis. But thank you very much for the question. I just need to find where my question panel's disappeared to, guys. I'll get the next one. Here we go. Answered that one live. Okay, for a mover from Anonymous, yes, it is available for purchase and remortgage, again, as is all of our lending propositions. Natalie Barlow asks, when will we know exact date we can work out loan to value, as I have a case with Pure at 6.88% and I prefer more money if it's going to be there at the same rate? Well, I think our rates are going to be slightly lower. Exact date, Les, I think you've covered that, but you just want to reiterate what you said earlier?
Yeah, it's a work in progress. So we know that we're launching. We just don't know the exact date. And my best guess would be next week at some point, but I don't know which day.
Excellent. Sorry, just working out answer to the next question we've got there. So we've got Natalie Barlow. You've answered that question. Sorry, Brian, I will give you a call after the call, or you just give me a ring, you know the number. Karen Ferguson has asked, I've got a 71-year-old, his property downvalued by £100,000 with Canada Life. What loan to value would you offer a 71-year-old? Plus, would you consider his wife, who is not in the deeds, to be an occupier like Canada Life used to? So unfortunately not, the wife would have to go on the deeds. But what I would say, available across our entire panel as well, is tenants in common with no percentage limits. So often adding somebody onto the property can be a consideration for their estate, where it might be, say, a married situation where there's been previous wives, and divorce situation, there's children in the mix, and also about the stamp duty implications. If you're adding somebody on at a consideration, you can do a 1% to 99% split across the panel, and equally with this project as well. So that could be a solution for you there, Karen. And in terms of what loan to values, as we mentioned earlier, we've got two products available, one with a slightly lower rate. It's 49.1% on the lower rated product and 50.5% at the higher. Mr. Fisk, Chris, is there a referral process for houses over 1 million? I've got one that's 1.25 million. So I don't believe the funder currently has an appetite to go above right now. It probably just wants to dip its toe in the water. But you know what, Chris? I love a challenge. So you've got the email address, fran.green@moretolife.co.uk, or, Mr. Pick, I will certainly throw it over to our product team, throw it across the line, and just start testing that appetite, because you never know, they might just say yes. But I think it would be good for the funder to actually see some of this and the appetite early on, so it can start, forming its appetite for the future.
Yeah, I think, Fran, just to add to that, I mean, there'll be some of you that are based in the southeast, particularly, for a lot of business, your business is sort of inside the M25 and thinking, well, that's a great product, but it's no help to me because all the properties I see are over £1 million. You lucky things, you. Yeah, I mean, look, what we don't want is an absolute deluge of this product coming in, an avalanche. We worked hard to get service back to where it needs to be. So I think there's a vanilla version of this product, which is what you're seeing today. If there are any changes or amendments to this product over the course of the next coming sort of weeks or maybe month or two, it'll only get better, not worse. And such a thing as, taking maximum property value to 2 million or whatever might be a thing. So keep feeding in. If we've got evidence to suggest that there are, from you guys, I don't know, 50 cases or whatever, where the property was worth between £1 and £2 million, then we got the evidence, and we can go back to the funder and say, look, there's this business here to be had if you want it, right? But we need to make sure that we don't put something in the market that will literally give hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of apps in just a couple of weeks, because otherwise all that's going to happen is we're going to hit by too many apps in one go, service will suffer, and then everybody will be upset. We'll be working stupidly hard to try and process that, and you'll be really, really frustrated that either an Apex product or a Flexi product or one of the other products that we offer is not getting seen to in a timely manner. We worked this business, and I'm new here. Most of you who know me know I've only been here a couple of months, and I've watched this business invest in people, invest in systems, and really turn things around in terms of app to offer and stuff over the last couple of months. We transformed that side of the application process, and what we don't want to do is slip back. So I think the vanilla version is being launched, and hopefully one more maybe varied outlook to underwriting could be and particularly property value could come later on.
Excellent. Margaret Pooley-Smith, I think we answered your question with regards to ownership with unmarried couples. As long as they're not married, or they are actually potentially slightly different switch there. If they're not married, they're just cohabiting, then we'll be able to allow that with waivers, occupiers consent and ILA. So that might be one that you might want to speak to me direct just to check the detail out on there. George, as I say, Les has covered that. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't know when we're going to be able to see it in sourcing, but we hope very, very soon. Sam Harris, hello, love. Nice to see you this morning on the Zoom. The valuer we'll be using, is the question that's been asked, will be eServe, as is the case across the rest of the panel. And then one last question I've got so far, which is from Bill Millington. Hello, Bill. Leasehold is the 175-year rule. Has got apps that fit Canada Life criteria, but outside of Malta Life criteria. So I'll take that part of the question first. So the leasehold situation with this product, it depends on the age. So it's anything from 125 years for the younger borrowers up to 100 years for your 81-year-old and onwards. So that's sort of the lease parameters that we've got. You've got above commercial, got apps that fit L&G, but outside of Malta Life criteria. So proximity to commercial with this one, if it's sharing a wall, then that would be a no. But other than that, if it's within potential influence and distance, as it's, it's within sight of the property, what we need is the valuer to make comment, to note it, and to confirm that it's not going to impact future saleability. And on that basis, we may be able to lend. So if you're talking about something that's directly above, that would be a no. But if you're talking about flats where they've been built with infrastructure as is required by planning permission these days, so it might be 2 or 3 flats above a Tesco Express in a city centre, for example, we may potentially be able to lend on that, which hopefully covers your lease and commercial questions. And that would be all of the questions that we've got so far, unless you want to give anybody a final 10-second countdown, John, to put anything else in there.
Yeah, maybe 11 seconds. Yeah, any more?
Actually, there's 2 more that have come up. One from Clive Parish asking about age-restricted properties. Can they be considered?
They cannot. Unfortunately, we don't have a solution across our panel for age-restricted. And thanks for that, Nick. I've seen that other one as well.
The other one about the pylons. Yeah.
So the pylon rule is the same as Flexi, exactly. So it can't have any power cables covering the security in any way, shape or form. And the pylon can be accepted within influence and distance as long as it's over 100 metres away, and again travels with positive valuer comments. If you are looking for something that's got closer pylon to it, our capital choice plan doesn't have any minimum requirement, but obviously if it's right next door and it's a big whopping pylon, it's doubtful that it will get positive valuer comments, and it can't have any power lines going across the property. However, if you've got one that's 75 metres or more away from the property and it does have power lines that are travelling across the security, we can help there with tailored. So again, it's just probably another demonstration that what I say is, against other panel propositions, we've got some amazing plan Bs. So, you come in to us with an application and it gets to valuation stage or even sometimes legal stage, and it's got a shared septic tank. It's got power cables over the property. It's got a proximity to commercial you couldn't see at the boundary of the bottom of the road because there was a big tree there or what have you. We do have now 6 fantastic options where we can play with being able to potentially replace that case back into a position where we could be offered within 24 hours with very little disruption to the client.
Thanks, Fran.
Fantastic. And this is why we got Fran on the call this morning. Thank you for all of that technical assistance.
Yeah, well, and I just think back from Air's viewpoint, delighted to be hosting this exclusive. Les, you mentioned, I think that this product can open up to customers that perhaps haven't been served at the moment, but the flexibility in high loan to values, yeah, that's as this market's developing, that's an amazing new development. So as Les said, yeah, it's just thinking of those customers out there now and then obviously ongoing. I think just George, back on yours about when it's on air sourcing, as soon as there's always last minute sort of things to do from a lender viewpoint, as Les would tell you. And as soon as we know between More to Life and air, we'll make sure you're notified as soon as possible. But hopefully it's imminent. You know, I think Les, we're getting close there.
Yeah,
John.
really close.
John, and
yeah.
Les, just very quickly, you've got one more question that's come in from a broker who I know has got a live case who's considering for this.
Yeah, you go on, Grant.
And it's the clarification with regards to annex criteria. So, morning, Greg. Hope you're well. Yes, we can accept annexes as long as it's only one annex. So it's the main two properties in total, the subject property and the annex. The annex can be separate. It doesn't have to be integral, can have its own bathroom and kitchen, but cannot be on its own council tax or services. So it has to be on the same council tax banding as the subject security and share services. That's that.
Fran, the very final one from Simon. ERC is calculated on loan balance. The question.
No, it's calculated on the initial of the loan on ERC. Yeah, sorry.
On the loan.
Yeah, I was thinking of the repayment over repayment there, but yeah, it's on the current balance, not the initial balance, the ERC.
Yeah. Thanks, Simon. Just sneaked in there quickly, but a good question. So again, thanks very much. And say, listen, we'll let you know as soon as possible. You know, we're delighted to be hosting this as an exclusive. So it is via air, as you know. Sorry, I'm not harping on about that, but it's a great product. Please, I will. Okay. So, and you know, myself and Nicola, once we know we're live, obviously we'll make sure everybody's notified as we go forward. Once we're live, then obviously we'll be able to, you know, the help desk will be there to help with inquiries, as well as obviously the technical expert in Fran and Les. So again, thank you very much for your time, everybody, and be in touch as soon as possible.
Thank you. Thank you all for your time this morning.